Hello, my name is Isabelle Trong.
And my name is Dang Chow, and our topic is desertification, primarily in China.
So, what is desertification? It is a gradual transformation of land suitable for growing crops into desert. It is the destruction of vegetative land cover, leaving only landscape that is rock and bare soil.
In addition to arid land, desertification also includes losing bodies of water, vegetation, and even wildlife. There are a number of possible causes to desertification, including inappropriate agriculture, deforestation, increased groundwater demand, drought, bad farming practices, and overgrazing by farm animals.
One such location where this is a problem is China. We have a short clip prepared that introduces this problem and how it affects the people in China.
就是我们从小就是这块长大的，啊，这一营子就是外地来的没有。问题就是沙漠那块儿确实不行，那刮的。北边就一块儿，那是全是沙漠，完毕就是都晒熟了，完毕三四里地吧都晒熟了。 这面没塞不了，那个坡度太大了，有时候就是今天塞，明天就是埋死了那个。
China's State Forestry Administration identifies land desertification as the country's biggest ecological problem. And this problem is only accentuated by climate change. China has 18 provinces and is approximately 3.705 million square miles in size.
About a quarter of China's total land surface is under desertification. That's a total of about 1 million square miles of landmass that has been desertified. According to the World Wildlife Fund, each year approximately 950 square miles is lost to advancing deserts. That means ruining the homes of 400 million people and costing China an annual estimate of $6.5 billion US dollars.
It is estimated that China has 21,000 additional square miles of more deserts than it did in 1975. That's about the size of Croatia. China is also home of the Taklamakan Desert, which is the second largest wandering desert in the world.
Not only do the homes of citizens get destroyed, but desertification has led to the creation of an eco-migrant generation. These people are forced to leave their homes because they are no longer able to live their traditional agricultural lifestyle.
Effects of desertification includes muddy rivers, blinding dust storms, and eroded topsoil.
Thousands of kilometers of railways have been destroyed by sand accumulation. This is hazardous to the biodiversity of the ecosystems there. With desertification effects only continuing to go up, North and Western China see rural poverty on the rise. Sandstorms are intensifying, and more farmers are forced to leave their lands. Some of these sandstorms are so intense that hundreds of miles away, even Beijing experiences them in the spring. Sandstorms can sometimes even pick up polluted sand from the polluted industrial north and blow these sands into major cities. Sandstorms also add another layer into China's already polluted air quality. Another area that is affected by deserts is the Chengdu Plains, one of China's primary grain-growing fields.
The Chengdu Plain, otherwise known as the Land of Abundance, is the largest plain in southwest China. It is also the primary food production basis in China due to its biodiversity, mild weather, and water. Because of the increasing percent of desertification each year, the shift in the environment can very well trigger and spread desertification in the plain, starting with sandstorms. The plain is next to Sichuan, which is extremely prone to soil erosion, only increasing the risk of the Chengdu Plain becoming desertified. This could easily affect the rest of China, hindering the natural resources and agricultural production coming from the plain. How has the Chinese government responded to desertification? The government implemented a number of mitigation programs like the Combating of the Desertification Program and the 3 North Shelter Forest Program.
These projects use grazing, planting of grass and trees, and constructing shelter forests to increase vegetation cover in order to protect farmland against blowing sand. However, there are concerns that these attempts are not even effective, since planting trees in areas that are dry and don't even have enough precipitation to even sustain the trees makes the efforts kind of useless.
In a sense, this project of implementing more plants is only creating more harm. China already has an existing problem with desertification. As a solution, they implemented the Great Green Wall Plan, a reforestation plan all across China. So far, 66 billion trees have been planted. However, the Chinese government are mainly planting pine and poplar trees, which are non-native plants. Reason being is that these species of trees grow extremely fast, providing the quickest results. However, since these are non-native plants, they also exclude and push out the native plants, the plants that actually help stabilize the soil. In addition, these trees require a lot of water, which further sinks the water table in China. Combined by planting more pines and poplar trees, this actually furthers the problem of desertification. With more water being allocated for these trees, China as a whole becomes thirstier, which means that the people have less water and less water for the native trees. As a result, this exaggerates China's desertification more, rather than relieve the problem. In conclusion, this tree planting initiative has in fact created more deserts.
In addition to the new plants taking up more water, desertification as a whole hurts China's water supply. As more parts of China become deserts, sandstorms blow the sand into places they shouldn't be, such as rivers. In total, sandstorms have blown about 33 million meters cubed into water reservoirs. With more silt in the rivers are not able to hold as much water. The lowest plateau, for example, is the most notable place in which this happens.
A way that some people resolve this problem is by simply ignoring the problem. As more areas in China become deserts, people simply move to more hospitable land. If they do not correct their poor farming styles and overgrazing, moving to a new area would not resolve the situation, but instead would only create more deserts. If this cycle continues, all of China would eventually become a desert, which to some extent is already true.
The Chinese have also tried to resort to establishing tree shelter belts. These shelter belts are basically a kind of plantation designed in a format where a wall of trees surrounds crops or a habitat for animals. The point is to protect the crops or wildlife from winds or soil erosion. There are also a number of other bizarre attempted solutions in trying to handle desertification, some of which include airdropping seeds, blowing up sand dunes, and putting up huge fences to prevent animals from eating the crops.
In fact, controlling livestock grazing practices might be an effective method to combating desertification. As animals overgraze the land, they expose more of the soil to the elements, allowing the soil to become more dry and desert-like. Therefore, by limiting the area in which animals can graze upon, China is also limiting the expansion of desertification. Some farmers are also encouraged to plant trees rather than to grow and raise crops. Another possible solution is that instead of focusing on planting trees, which implicitly furthers the problem, people can focus on how to combat climate change, since that is also a key cause to desertification.
Overall, with more parts of China becoming deserts, the problems of desertification stacks upon itself. Although China tries to address this problem through the Great Green Wall Initiative, these solutions does not resolve the long-term effects of this problem.
There is no instant solution to desertification, but by diverting our efforts to the right relief methods, we can slow down the process of desertification in the hopes that the future generation will be able to tackle it. Although with some opposition, some studies have shown that China is in fact slowing down their rate of desertification, leading some to argue that China is in fact heading in the right direction. And that is our presentation for desertification in China. Thank you for watching.